Gooseworks have just confirmed the release date for episode 2 of The Amazing Digital Circus. They also released a trailer confirming all of our predictions and revealing 8 new characters and more. We've been waiting for this trailer for months. Let's start by telling you the confirmed release date I found for episode 2 on the Glitch Productions community tab. They recently announced that episode 2 will be out around May, which is a bit longer than many of us would like, but I'll get to that in a minute. At the very end of the trailer, we see text that says, episodes will be released when they're ready, which means that the creators plan to spend as much time on them as they need to be of good quality, which is a smart move, as I would better to wait a few months and see something really good than get something rushed. At the start of the trailer, we could see Pomni in the room from one of the teasers we got a few days ago, where she was lying in her bed with her eyes open. It was believed that someone had woken her up, but it turned out that she was actually just lying there thinking about how she got stuck in the circus. Just then, we get another shot from one of the teasers where Pomni is still lying awake, but from above, and just then, Caine appears out of nowhere and screams and actually lifts her off the bed. Then, right after that, we see our latest teaser footage that was released yesterday that basically said, we're gonna get this trailer today. Caine pulls out a thumbnail for the pilot and says they hit their goal in 1 viewing, which is obviously a lie, but they definitely hit their goal in as many viewings as they need to keep the show going. And about now, it will reach 300 million views. Caine then explained that the pilot episode would be upgraded to episode 1, meaning that the next episode would be called episode 2 instead of episode 1 as many had thought. Pomni even said it was weird, like breaking the fourth wall, asking, does it usually work like that? And Caine says, shut up! The Amazing Digital Circus pilot has met our goal of 1 viewing, and now it's going to be upgraded to the first episode of the full Amazing Digital Circus series. That's how it usually works, but essentially saying that they're going to repeat it and you don't need to worry about it. Caine talks about how Pomni has a big influence on the internet, which makes sense since the first episode of The Amazing Digital Circus went absolutely viral with almost 300 million views at the time of this video. Then he started showing off some blurry miniatures, and Pomni was so freaked out by it that she even cursed, even though we know swearing literally does nothing in the circus, which means she was looking at something really bad. Caine further proves this by telling Pomni that these are all the consequences of our actions, and it will only get worse. Let's start by impregnating the new kingdom. Yes, Caine announced a new kingdom in the trailer, and from the looks of it, it's called Candy Canyon Kingdom, and I have a theory about what it might be. Maybe it's just me, but this kingdom is very similar to the minigame that the characters played in the first episode, so I think it will be another minigame that the characters have to play in the second episode of The Amazing Digital Circus. We get a glimpse of another adventure as a kinger with a shotgun hits something, and judging by the lighting, it looks like some kind of haunted house where the circus members have to survive together to beat the adventure. The next leak we got from this video is what another adventure could look like, where we see Jax working at a fast food restaurant, and we saw him being pushed out of a closet by one of Caine's hands in a fast food uniform working at a place called Speedy's. And that I guess Jack initially refused to go on the adventure and said he wasn't going to wear that uniform in front of everyone else, and so Caine made him do it and pushed him out of the closet, which is why we see the expression Jax is like that. After that, we see an unfinished adventure that looks like some kind of sports stadium. But if we look at the file name at the top, it says Aces 1.0, which probably doesn't mean anything specific. And at the top, it's called Object X, which means that they won't tell us exactly what it's used for, but they might be playing some kind of sports game or using the stadium for some kind of show. Then we see the Sun finally speak, and she complains that she's not getting any dialogue, so Caine says they'll get some lines for her, apparently referring to the fact that everyone complained that in the pilot episode, the moon spoke, but the Sun didn't say anything, and everyone said the Sun would never talk, so they probably wrote a few lines just for fun. Caine then says, speaking of dialogue, there will be a lot of new lines of dialogue from many of our colorful new characters, and then extremely quickly shows us flashes of the 8 new characters speaking 1 syllable at a time. Each of them shouts, on the dialogue front, there will be a lot of new dialogue from many of our colorful new characters. The first one we see is some yellow dinosaur that appears in the next episode, probably as a tour guide to the Candy Canyon Kingdom, because we see the land pink and covered in candy in the background, and the canyon in the background. Our second character is actually the one we saw in the episode 2 teaser, which means we'll probably see the next fast food adventure with this guy who might be a customer our circus members have to deal with, as he doesn't appear to be working behind the counter, as you can see the table and chair in the lower right corner. The next character we see is honestly a bit disturbing, as it might not even be a character, but instead something much darker and more disturbing, as we see a tape recorder that looks like it has eyes and a mouth in a dark room, which may be a hint that we should not hear what he has to say. Our fourth character is another character from the Candy Canyon Kingdom, and it appears to be just some kind of candy monster. The fifth character is some kind of ghost in a haunted mansion, which is interesting since we haven't seen any other promos related to this. The sixth character is a candy princess, and it's quite funny because before this, a lot of people thought that this impregnation was Princess Peach from this impregnation picture that we got. The seventh character is some kind of ghostly woman who looks like an explorer. Maybe she was exploring someone in the amazing digital circus and then got possessed and turned into a ghost. Our last character is a blue mannequin, which is weird because now it confirms that every other mannequin is just an NPC. But if you're a different color, you're actually a real person. Caine then starts yelling about what the characters will be like in Army Wars, and in a fit of rage, he transforms into a gorgeous version of himself. This is obviously an advertisement for the new Caine plush they released. After that, the last minute or so of the trailer is just Caine calling out bootlegs and promoting official merchandise to support the production of the amazing digital circus. But let me know what some of your theories are down in the comments, and I might make it into a video. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and click on this video.